Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Learn English Talk podcast. I'm Mia, and I'm really happy you're here with us today, taking this time to slow down, relax, and practice English in a calm and natural way.
And I'm Jake. Thanks for joining us. Whether you're listening at home, on your way to work, or maybe just sitting somewhere quiet with a cup of coffee or tea, we're really glad you're here.
Before we begin, take a moment to like this episode and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us keep creating long, relaxed English conversations for learners like you.
And if you enjoy learning English through real conversations, not textbooks, you're in the right place.
Today's episode is a special one. We're going to look back at the year that just ended, 2025.
It's one of those moments in the year when people naturally start reflecting. The pace slows down a little, and we start thinking about where we were, where we are now, and how we changed along the way.
Exactly. This isn't a fast conversation. It's not rushed. It's the kind of conversation you might have with a friend at the end of the year, when there's no hurry.
And while we talk, you'll hear how people naturally use English to talk about the past, their experiences, and personal changes, especially using the past simple and the present perfect.
No grammar pressure, no rules to memorize, just listening and understanding how English really sounds in real life.
Before we really dive into the year itself, I think it's important to talk about something first.
What do you mean?
I mean how people usually feel when a year ends.
That's true. End-of-year feelings can be very mixed.
Exactly. Some people feel proud, some feel disappointed, some feel tired, and many people feel all of those emotions at the same time.
And that's completely normal. When we say mixed feelings, we mean having different emotions at the same time. For example, feeling grateful and tired, happy and sad.
Yes, and 2025 has given many people mixed feelings.
When January started, I remember thinking, this year will be different.
That sounds familiar.
I think many people thought the same thing. At the beginning of the year, we often feel hopeful. We make plans. We imagine a better version of ourselves.
And sometimes those plans work out. Sometimes they don't.
And sometimes something completely unexpected happens, and that changes everything.
When you think back to the start of 2025, how did you feel?
I felt motivated, but also a little unsure.
That's a very honest answer.
When we say unsure, we mean not completely confident or certain about something.
Yes, and uncertainty is something many people have felt this year.
In the first few months of 2025, I tried to do everything right. I wanted to be productive, organized, and positive all the time.
That's a lot to ask from yourself.
It really is. And at first, I thought I was doing great.
But then?
Then I realized I was tired. Not just physically tired, but mentally tired too.
That kind of tiredness can be hard to notice.
When we say mentally tired, we mean feeling exhausted in your mind, not just in your body.
Exactly. One thing I've noticed over the years is that people often judge their year too quickly.
What do you mean by that?
I mean that people say this was a good year or this was a bad year without really looking deeper.
That's very true. But when you slow down and really think about it, most years are more complex than that. They're not just good or bad.
They're full of moments.
As you're listening, you might want to think about your own year too.
You don't need to judge it yet. Just notice what comes to your mind.
Maybe a memory, maybe a feeling, maybe a lesson.
For many people, 2025 was a year of adjustment.
Adjustment in what sense?
Adjustment in expectations, adjusting routines, adjusting how they relate to work, time, and even themselves.
Yes, I think many people have realized that life doesn't always go exactly as planned.
When we say to adjust, we mean to change something slightly so it works better.
And that's a very useful skill. One thing I appreciate about end-of-year conversations is that they give us permission to pause,
Yes, to stop running for a moment.
to breathe.
And to look back with a little more kindness. And also with honesty.
Especially honesty.
Because if we're honest, not everything we planned in 2025 worked out.
That's true. Some things didn't happen the way we wanted. But that doesn't mean the year was wasted. Not at all. When people say the year wasn't wasted, they mean that even difficult experiences had value.
Exactly. One of the reasons we wanted to record this episode is because we know many of you are learning English as part of your own personal journey.
Yes, learning a language takes time, patience, and consistency.
And sometimes progress feels slow.
But when you look back, you often realize how much you've improved.
That's a great example of the present perfect. You've improved, because the improvement happened over time and still matters now.
See? Real life and grammar working together. I think 2025 has taught many people something important.
What's that?
Well, that growth doesn't always look the way we expect it to look.
Sometimes growth is quiet.
Sometimes it's uncomfortable.
And sometimes we only recognize it later. That's why it's helpful to talk about the year more than once.
What do you mean by that?
I mean that the first time you reflect, you remember a few things.
And then later, more memories appear.
Exactly.
And that's actually how this conversation feels right now.
Yes, we started talking about 2025, and the more we talk, the more there seems to be to say.
Before we really say goodbye, I feel like there's still more to say about this year.
I was thinking the same thing. Sometimes when you start reflecting, you realize the year was fuller than you first thought.
Yes, at first you remember only a few moments, but then, little by little, more memories come back.
It's like opening a box you haven't touched in a while.
Exactly, and suddenly you remember things you thought you had forgotten.
One thing that really stood out to me in 2025 was how my relationship with time changed.
How so?
In the past, I always felt like I was running out of time. I rushed through everything.
That's a stressful way to live.
It really is. In January, I checked the clock constantly. I worried about being late, about not doing enough.
So January is another past simple moment.
Yes, but over the year, I've changed how I see time.
When we say, I've changed how I see time, we mean the change happened gradually and still affects us now.
Exactly. I don't rush as much anymore. I've learned that being present is more important than being fast.
That reminds me of something I experienced this year too.
What happened?
In May, I took a short walk without listening to music or podcasts, just silence.
That sounds very different from you.
It was. At first, it felt strange, but after a few minutes, I felt calm.
And now?
Now, I do that more often. I realized I don't need noise all the time.
That's another great example of past simple and present perfect working together. Do you remember any moment this year that made you laugh unexpectedly?
Yes, actually. In July, I completely forgot an important appointment.
Really? That doesn't sound like you at all.
I know. I realized it only hours later.
So what did you do?
I laughed at myself. In the past, I would have been very angry.
But now?
Now, I see mistakes differently. I've learned to be kinder to myself.
That's a big emotional shift.
When people say to be kind to yourself, they mean treating yourself with understanding instead of criticism.
Yes, and that's something many people have struggled with this year. Another thing that changed for me in 2025 was how I deal with uncertainty.
That's an important topic.
In the past, uncertainty made me anxious. I needed clear answers.
And life doesn't always give clear answers.
Exactly. In August, I faced a situation where I had no control.
That can be very uncomfortable.
It was, but since then I've learned to sit with uncertainty instead of fighting it.
To sit with uncertainty means accepting that you don't have all the answers yet.
Yes, and that has made my life calmer.
If you're listening right now, think about this. How do you react when things are uncertain?
Do you get nervous or have you learned to stay calm?
There's no right or wrong answer. It's just something to notice.
One of my favorite parts of 2025 was noticing small improvements.
Like what?
Simple things, sleeping better, listening more carefully, being less reactive.
Those changes are easy to miss if you're only looking for big moments.
Exactly. And I've learned that progress doesn't always look dramatic.
For me, one of the biggest lessons of this year was learning when to let go.
Letting go is hard.
It is. In the past, I held on to things that didn't serve me anymore.
And what changed?
In October, I realized I was holding on to an old expectation that no longer fit my life.
So October is another past simple moment.
Yes, but since then, I felt lighter.
To feel lighter means feeling emotionally free, less heavy.
Exactly.
When you look back at 2025 as a whole, would you say it was more challenging or more rewarding?
I think it was both.
That sounds very realistic.
Some moments were difficult, but I've grown because of them.
And that's often how meaningful years feel.
If you're reflecting on your own year, try not to judge it too quickly.
Sometimes we only understand the value of a year later.
Growth isn't always visible right away.
And remember, comparing your year to someone else's year usually doesn't help.
Everyone is on a different path.
What matters is what you've learned and how you've changed.
And if you're enjoying this calm conversation, don't forget to like the episode and subscribe to the channel.
It helps us keep creating these long, relaxed listening experiences for you.
As 2025 comes to an end, I feel grateful.
Me too. Not because everything went easy, but because it was meaningful.
And that's something worth appreciating.
You know, Mia, one thing I really appreciated about this year was learning to notice my emotions instead of ignoring them.
That's interesting. How did that show up in your daily life?
In the past, when I felt stressed or frustrated, I tried to stay busy so I wouldn't feel it.
A lot of people do that.
But in 2025, especially around August, I started paying attention to how I was feeling instead of pushing it away.
When we say to pay attention to your emotions, we mean noticing them without judging them.
Exactly. And that has helped me respond more calmly to difficult situations.
Experience something similar this year, especially with expectations.
Expectations can be tricky.
In the past, I expected myself to always be productive, positive, and strong.
That's a lot of pressure.
In November, I realized I didn't need to meet those expectations all the time.
So November is another past simple moment.
Yes, but since then, I've allowed myself to rest emotionally too.
Emotional rest is just as important as physical rest. Do you remember a moment this year when something small made you feel really happy?
Yes, in December, I received a message from someone I hadn't talked to in years.
That must have been surprising.
It was. The message was simple, but it meant a lot to me.
And that's often how meaningful moments appear, quietly.
Exactly, and I've thought about that message many times since then.
When we say something meant a lot, we mean it had emotional importance, even if it was small.
Those moments often stay with us longer than big events.
One thing I've learned this year is that growth doesn't always feel comfortable.
Very true.
Sometimes growth feels confusing, slow, or even frustrating.
But looking back, those moments often matter the most.
Yes, at the time I didn't always understand what was happening.
But now you do.
Now I do. I've gained perspective.
If you're listening right now, think about a moment this year that felt uncomfortable at the time.
It might make more sense to you now.
Sometimes clarity comes later.
Another change I noticed in myself this year was how I communicate with others.
In what way?
In the past, I avoided difficult conversations.
That's very common.
In 2025, I faced a few situations where I needed to speak honestly.
Do you remember when that started?
Yes, in September, I had a conversation I had been avoiding for months.
That takes courage.
It did. And since then, I felt more at peace with myself.
When we say to feel at peace, we mean feeling calm and okay with your decisions.
Exactly. Something else that stood out to me this year was learning to appreciate ordinary days.
Ordinary days are underrated.
In the past, I waited for special moments to feel happy.
And now?
Now, I notice happiness in simple routines. I've learned that ordinary days make up most of life.
That's a powerful realization.
As we're talking about all this, I hope listeners are starting to see how naturally past simple and present perfect appear in real conversations.
Yes, we're not trying to teach grammar, we're just talking about life.
And that's how people really use English.
As we slowly come to the end of this episode, I want to say something important to our listeners.
Go ahead.
You don't need to have a perfect year to feel proud of yourself.
Showing up, learning, and reflecting already matter a lot.
If you're listening to this episode, you're already investing in yourself.
And if this conversation has helped you relax or reflect, don't forget to like the episode and subscribe to the channel.
It really supports us and helps more learners find these calm listening practices.
Looking back at 2025, I feel grateful. Not because everything went well, but because I've grown.
I feel the same way. The year wasn't perfect, but it shaped who we are today.
And that's enough. Thank you for spending this time with us, listening, reflecting, and practicing English in a gentle way.
We'll be back soon with more relaxed, natural conversations to help you feel confident in English.
Until then, take care of yourself.
And be kind to your past, your present, and your future.
See you next time.